and we're going to draw ourselves. It's kind of like an anime style, so I know that's a really popular one too. I think you guys can. I'll show you how to make it really easy, how to do it. I think everybody can be able to do it.
I think I can.
You think you can? Okay, great.
I can't. It's too hard.
All right, well, everything is hard if you haven't done it before, but I think you guys can do this because it's just breaking it down to simple shapes like we did before. If you guys want some paper and pencil, we have some over there too. All right, so just really quick, we're going to look at our art review from last week. I think these are from Emmett, the first one that we see coming up, right? These were super cool. So last week we did our monster, our alien. No, what was it? Yeah, Star Wars Alien. I already forgot. It feels like so long ago. Iris did this really cool one digitally, which blew me away. Really cool. Lots of different textures going on. We got a surprise fold coming up right next. Yeah, it was yours that you did it. Yeah. Thank you guys. I appreciate that you like the hat. We got some awesome digital art too. I think these were Carla's. I'm sorry if I got that wrong, but I'm pretty sure it is.
That's my surprise fold.
Yep.
Are you gonna open it?
Yep.
Yep. And inside it's lightning.
Super cool. Yeah, a lot of these were really cool. I was really surprised with how good all of these came out, and also how finalized your drawings looked. Like you guys are really getting into. That's in the background music. Yeah.
Like from Inside Out 2, which was March 9th.
Kind of. Yeah. So if you guys want to share your artwork, you can email me. You can send it to me on Instagram. Lots of different ways, and I will add it and include it each week. So our morning mindfulness for today is coming from the co-star, which is teaching others. And the co-star, you'll see it up in a second. And the co-star is a great question. The co-star is the student that comes up and does like a teaching demo. Right? Some of you guys have earned that one. Yeah. And the co-star is kind of, I picked this one because it's kind of like a Pokemon trainer. Because you, as a trainer, you have to, hi Iris. No, it doesn't look like a Pokemon trainer. Not at all.
It's like a wilty
Yeah.
star who always sleepwalks.
Yeah, a little bit. But the co-star is all about teaching others, and that's what a Pokemon trainer does. They have to coach their Pokemon, they have to teach them new moves, they have to take care of them, and that's a big part of what the co-star does. It's kind of looking after others and sharing what you know with others, and kind of anticipating, which means like guessing before it happens, what are the needs of either your Pokemon or your students. All right, now, jumping right into our first activity today, we are going to draw, first look at some inspiration. So the inspiration that I have right here is a sketch of Ash Ketchum. I believe you guys all know who that is, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I like the Pokemon stuff.
Yeah. Now, Ash has gone through, you like Pokemon Go? Oh, nice. I haven't actually played Pokemon Go. None of the games? I used to play the Game Boy Color. That was the one that I played. Yeah.
Why does your shirt have googly eyes?
Oh, because I like them. I thought they were funny. I know. Apparently, they've gone through a lot of different hat changes. I got the classic. Now, these are just a few of his styles and hat styles, but you could also see all the different Pokemon trainers, and this is what we're going to be using as reference and inspiration. No. Oh, that's right now what you guys are seeing is all Ash. You'll see all the other trainers. We got Misty and Brock. I don't even know the names of these other people. But we're going to kind of pull from each of these characters and pick elements that we want to incorporate into our design for ourselves. Oh, is that? Who's Chloe? Okay, gotcha. That's the one. The one with the red? Okay.
Why do they have those phones that can talk?
Oh, the Pokédexes? Those are so cool. Yeah.
It's Pokédex. That is Pokédex. It's also about Pokemon.
All right, so if you guys are working on paper, grab a light pencil. If you guys are working on your tablet, I like to use a new layer, and I'm calling it my sketch layer, because we're going to do a rough sketch and try to figure out all the ideas, the concept of what we're trying to draw, and then we're going to go over it with like a darker outline. So that could be like a marker or just a pressing darker with your pencil. But for right now, we're going to keep it nice and light and sketchy, kind of like that original drawing of Ash Ketchum right there. We're going to keep it nice and sketchy. All right. So to start off, let's just draw a nice circle, and this will be our head.
By the way,
Yeah.
I was at this Pokemon museum. I found these.
Ooh, are those like original sketches from the Pokemon Museum?
Yeah, it's at Hollywood. I couldn't find a pencil, so I just had to use a silver color.
Okay.
It was really cool.
That's pretty cool. I didn't know that the Hollywood had a Pokemon museum. Well, we are going to be drawing your own Pokemon next week, but you can get a jump start on that if you want. But I think you guys can do this. Look, all we're going to do is start with a circle with a little cross shape like that. All right. Now,
Try. Don't give up. Yeah. No.
that's okay. You can try Pokemon if you want to. This is just for if you guys want to follow along. This is not like a class where you have to do exactly like I do. Now, with this circle, with the cross, that's kind of how I'm breaking up the face. That all stays the same whether or not you're drawing the anime style. But once we get into the details in the eyes, we will. Now, right off the bat, it looks like their nose shapes don't change too much. So I'm just going to kind of do like this little triangle shape that they use for the nose. It doesn't look like there's a lot of variety. It's a style choice. I think they don't want to emphasize the nose because honestly, the nose doesn't really give you a lot of expression. So it doesn't give you a lot of character. So you kind of just give it a little tiny shadow like that. But really what you want to focus on is the mouth and the eyes. And obviously with anime, they have lots of great hair. All right. Now let's go on. Before we actually go too far into the details, let's draw the rest of the body. So depending on your proportions, you can make yourself taller or shorter. If you have a longer torso or a wider torso, I'm going to do somewhere in the middle, kind of like this. And I'm just going to make it look like kind of like a loaf of bread. And that's going to be my torso. It's like the body. Yeah, like that. And maybe lower it just a little bit so you have room for the neck, which is fairly small with these anime. All right. Okay. Now we're going to do some legs, and I'm going off of Brock's legs right here because that's probably the closest to what I typically wear. But you guys can pick whichever character is closest to your style or change it. We're not going to worry about so much of the details yet, so we're just looking at the proportions of the body. And this is what I'm going to look at, like this. Just keeping it nice and simple shapes. We're going to add the details to make it look more like us in a little bit. All right. And for shoes, let's take a look at their shoes. I got sneakers. Brock's are covered, but I think right here, it's not too bad. I want to change up the design of the shoes, but I'm just going to give it the general shape like this. Now, for the feet, it's good to add a little bit of diversity in your drawing. You don't want to draw things totally symmetrical because that's not really how people tend to look in real life. That means one side shouldn't look exactly the same as the other side, especially with the feet. So that's a great chance. So if we look at these feet, they're all, depending on if it's like part of the character choice, where it adds personality, but in general, I'm going to zoom back to the head in a second. But right now we're looking at the feet. So with these feet, unless it's part of the character design, so maybe it adds a little bit of character to you, I would say stick with the 1 foot pointing out and 1 foot pointing straight ahead. I'd say that's a pretty safe bet. So there we go. All right. Now I'm going to draw myself in what I'm wearing right now. So I'm just keeping that in mind. And let's see, for the arms, if you'd like, you could have your arms doing a pose. If you want to do a pose, I would suggest starting off with like a stick pose with like just a line and then circle, because that kind of really helps you figure out the proportions and make sure those are all lined up right, like that. There we go. I think I'm just going to have this hand in the pocket just for the sake of time, because drawing hands is tough and it takes a lot of time to get them right.
Not so tough.
Well, for me, they're very tough. All right. I mean, I would say drawing hands, it's not that they're so tough. It's just that they take time, like to make them look not kind of like claws. All right. Oh, and we need a hat. Now, I'm wearing a hat, the Ash Ketchum hat, so I'm going to pretty much copy that one pretty closely. Not this style, but maybe that same look.
Mine looks really bad, actually. Mine looks radioactive.
Yours looks radioactive. That's crazy. All right. And it's just about starting off with getting the shapes right. I know I keep on saying that, but that's really how I think of things when I'm drawing, is just to try to match the shapes and try to get them in the right place. And the way to do that is to look at where they are in relation to other things. And it might take a few attempts to get it right. Like you can see, I'm drawing really sketchy right now. All right. Let's see. We're gonna keep the ears pretty stylized. My guy is probably gonna end up looking a little bit like a younger version of myself, just because I kind of like that style. Let's see what we got. Yeah. All right. There we go. But the beard might help. So let's see. Do any of these characters have facial hair? Yeah. All right, none of them have a beard. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a guess based on...
They're kids.
That's true.
Well,
Jesse and James aren't kids, right?
Jesse and James. Oh, yeah.
They're adults? Yeah. What about Brock? Is Brock a kid or is he like a teenager?
I know how old Ash is. I know how old Ash and the other characters are.
How old is Ash?
Ash and his friends are 10 years old.
10 years old is Ash. Wow, okay. You're older than... I know, that's crazy when you start becoming older than your TV show. Okay, so I'm going to say based on the smiles, you want to pick the one that looks closest to how yours feels.
Those are things.
Now, I would say don't worry about making it look accurate as much as making sure the feeling is right. It's very like impressionistic kind of way to draw. But you want to do the smile or the eyes that feel the most like yours. They don't actually have to look like yours, because when you add a bunch of things that feel right in your drawing, it'll end up collectively looking like you. So I'm going to do this one of Ash right here too. So the mouth, the smile is kind of like a triangle, like an upside down triangle. Like that. And a nice little trick for the mouth to make it look, let's see, to make it look like teeth without drawing too much detail, because the mouth is another area, kind of like the nose, where it's good for letting you know who's talking. But with the mouth, I'm going to show you an example right here. A lot of the times, all you need is just a little line, not even all the way through, because that looks a little bit crazy. But if you just do a little dashes of a line coming out, that looks like a nice smile. And you don't even have to worry about drawing all the teeth. Now, I feel like this mouth feels like a little bit too small for me. So I'm going to make it a little bit wider, actually. There we go. That feels a little bit better. That's my beard.
Erase the thing. Is that a beard?
It's a beard. I think some of this stuff will look better when
It looks like fangs
That's kind of cool. I feel like the reason I added that in too was like, look at their hair. It's always like got such a cool shape and spikiness. And so I wanted to add a little bit of that style into my beard too. Just if I could. They always have a great way, like the way these anime artists draw, to make things look like it's like a really cool stylized thing, even if it's not something in particular. All right, let's sketch out the eyes. I think this is like everybody's favorite part of drawing anime. Oh, definitely. If you guys want to bring any Pokemon swagger or artwork that you have, we're gonna, yeah, you guys can bring it next week.
I have a Pokemon binder.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know how.
I used to have a Pokemon binder. It had all the Pokemon cards. I loved like the rare cards. Okay. What are we looking for? We're looking for the eyes. I mean, honestly, this Ash looks pretty solid. I think I might make them a little bit less alert, like this person next to him.
Why is Ash always excited?
So let's try this. So for the eyes, we're going to start off with nice big ovals. Yep, just like that.
For some reason, I feel like Pokemon's an anime, even though it doesn't even look like one.
I know it's. I think some people think of it more as like a stretch of anime, that it's not like true anime.
It's not that much of an anime. It's half.
Yeah. All right, now with the anime eyes, now this is very similar to how I draw like regular eyes, but we're just changing the shapes a little bit. So again, back to the shapes. If I was drawing like a regular eye, I would start with a circle, draw the iris, draw the pupil, shade it in like this. Maybe a little bit lighter on the bottom. And maybe add like a shine like that. Now that's like an eyeball, and then we can add the eyelids on top of it. So we're going to kind of do the same thing, but instead this time we're going to draw the pupils and the shapes. Now, if you look, these pupils are really stretched. It's almost like they took like a regular eye. Let's see if that'll work actually. It looks like they took a regular eye and they just stretched it vertically. Like that, kind of.
It looks like a fly.
So we're going to draw that. Let's draw the pupils. Here we go. And again, like I was talking about, you want to be mindful of the shapes and also the relationship. So the relationship of the iris and the bottom of the eye, it looks like there's a tiny sliver of white in between. So that's what we want to make sure we leave. Now, some of the eyes, like this girl's or Jessie, or if they're like really young, they have the iris go all the way to the bottom. So for mine, I want to make sure I leave just a little bit of space underneath the iris and the white of the eye at the bottom.
For some reason, I feel like I'm making a different character instead of Pokemon.
Instead of Pokemon? I know, this is not the style that I'm always used to, actually.
What I'm drawing is blank.
All right. Now, the next part is the same thing. It looks like their pupil is stretched too, and then they add a nice little shine and an eyelid on top. And the eyelid is where you can really try to make it look the most like your style. Oh, guys, so my mom is on YouTube watching right now, and she reminded me that I could probably still sing the Pokemon song. Do you guys know that song? I know. She's a teacher, too, and so sometimes... Yeah, do you guys know the song?
Yeah, seen it before.
Have you seen it before? There we go. I want to make the eyelids a little bit like that. Yeah. All right, now again, it's going to look a little bit creepy because we're not finished yet, so I'm going to draw a little circle for the light. I'm going to try that. Let's see how that looks. Nice. Now, if you do one eyelid where it's touching the iris and the other one not, it kind of looks a little bit weird, so I'm going to make sure this one touches the iris too. Okay, and we'll clean up the rest of that a little bit after when we do the actual outline.
I kind of look good in this.
You kind of look good in it? There you go. That's what I'm talking about. You went from not being able to draw it to now you look good in it. Heck yeah. All right, the eyebrows. There is a fair amount of variety in the eyebrows. Look at Ash and this kid next to him. Oh, you guys will see it in a second. Jesse and James have really sharp eyebrows. Brock has these big eyebrows. So pick whichever eyebrows feel like yours.
Always. Wait, is it that guy?
Yeah, that guy.
Oh. Wait. Oh, why is Brock always his eyes are closed?
For a second, I remembered his name. I forgot.
Oh, you forgot his name? The eyebrows, I think you guys can do it pretty much any style that you want to, like any shape.
I haven't even done my eyes yet.
Okay, that's okay. All right, here we go. So this is my character so far. I'm going to draw a really quick sketch of my little stars that I usually have on my hat. Even though I'm wearing a Pokemon hat today.
Okay, now mine looks pretty creepy.
I'm trying to make my pupil instead of my iris.
All right, now, so for the clothes, these, I think the key part will also be when we do the shading and the coloring. So that will really help a lot. But the clothes are fairly simplified, realistic. Yeah, it's not, it's more about what the clothes are. And I think there's a lot of style in each of these clothes. So for your character's clothes, it's going to be different than mine. Here we go. Let's see. Where did I put the neck again? I think that's where the neck is. Just try to not make the clothes look super, you want them to look realistic, but also simplified. I would say not necessarily cartoony, but simplified. So instead of drawing all the details, you just draw the ones that you absolutely need. And that's really how they do their clothes. Their clothes are fairly realistic if you actually look at them. All right, let's see. And it's nice to add a few little bumps just so it looks like the clothes are bending and have like folds to them, like that. And with clothes, it's important to make sure you're making the folds go in the right direction. So for this part of the elbow right here, if this is the joint, right, and that's the elbow, the folds will be coming out from the joint and spreading out. If I drew them the other way, where they're like coming like this, that would look kind of like backwards. And the way to get good at drawing clothes is honestly just to look at real life. Life drawing is always such a good way. That's looking great. I love it. Okay. Well, don't worry if it doesn't look like it just yet, because we are still going to color it, and I think coloring really helps it a lot too.
I'm gonna make a peanut shape for my eyebrow.
So good.
I've been drawing me wearing like clothes with like flannel like this for a long time. All right. I remember when I was a kid, there was this one style, and they had it for the pants, and I'll show you how you drew it.
Can I make a neck guy?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. So with the pants, they did this little thing where they like had it fold, and they had it folded like that. And I remember I just drew all of my characters with like the pants fold like that because I thought it looked so cool. And that's kind of how it is as an artist. Like you take a few things, you learn, and like Picasso said, you steal what you like and you add it to your kind of, yeah. And you add it to your repertoire, which is like your mental library of things like you know how to draw. So when I draw hands now, I'm usually thinking of like a few different artists that have inspired me to draw hands. And the same thing with the clothes.
Okay, that is actually really good.
Oh, the legs?
And the collar.
Oh, the collar?
The floating eyeball next to him.
Not the floating. Okay, yeah, we should get rid of the floating eyeball. That's creeping me out too. Now, it might look easy when I'm doing it right here. Some of you guys are saying that right now.
Peanut shape for my eyebrow.
Oh, there we go. Peanut shape for the eyebrow. The reason it looks I can do it quickly and with like maybe 1 or 2 tries to get it right is because I've spent a lot of time getting it wrong. And so I have like the memory in my brain of me. Oh, Graham. Okay. So because I practice it so much, my hands kind of remember how it's drawn. And a lot of it too is that if you look up close, it's not all that special. And I think a lot of the times young artists or new artists or people that are still trying to learn how to draw a certain thing, they feel like every single line has to be perfect. I think if you look, there's a lot of exploration with these lines. Like, look how many times I tried to draw that shoulder, and I just kind of went over the dark one that I liked. So, yeah, it's supposed to look like you. Unless you want to be wearing a jumpsuit, too.
Yeah, I'm just wearing my...
Okay. The irony is that I actually really do like drawing hands. They do still take a long time. See?
Where's your fingers?
My fingers are in my pocket. See, something about that still looks off. Oh, on the other hand, yeah, that one I gotta still work on. Yeah, let's go.
Is that you? Yeah.
I know I kind of.
All right, and let's make this one into a fist. That way we don't have to draw the fingers because we want to draw the other stuff. Fingers are not going to be super expressive in this. All right, and my shoes are pretty much just white, so I'm just going to do like a little loop like that.
I didn't have enough room for my legs. See?
For your legs? Okay, that's okay.
No, they're just under.
Sometimes what people do too is that they tape 2 pieces of paper together if they need some more room.
What?
I know, right? All right. I have pockets on both sides. Okay.
Okay. No, I left them outside.
All right. Now I'm gonna have to speed up a little bit so that we finish in time. So let's.
I'm already done.
You already done? Okay, great. I'm just gonna do what they call is a bust in art, and that's kind of just this part. It's like the shoulders, the neck, and the head. So we're just gonna finalize that part. And if you guys want, you could finish your character too. But I'm going to show you how I would finalize the head. Now, we're going to do the outline, and then we're going to take a break. And then move on to the coloring and the shading. Now, for these outlines, look at these little lines. These are really thin lines. There's not a lot of line quality, which means if you're using a tablet, the Studio Pen has a lot of line quality. It's almost like calligraphy kind of. The harder you press, you get more line quality. But this style does not have line quality, so I'm going to use the brush called Monoline, and I believe it's in calligraphy. Yeah, calligraphy has the Monoline. That's a little bit too thick. You love the Monoline?
Yes.
Oh yeah, the Monoline is good. It's good if you're going for a real clean look. So no matter how hard I press, this line will not change its shape, and that means it doesn't have a lot of different line quality. So here we go. We're going to start to outline. And this is the part where you want to get your lines just right. I'm just going to keep on referencing back to see how they draw theirs. I think we did pretty good with our sketch though, so I think we can kind of trust this. Let's try this. Boop.
I'm gonna redraw it with a black marker.
Yeah. Or you can just use a darker pencil if you'd like to. Like kind of like the Kung Fu Panda style that we did before, where you drew it with like an orange pencil. Oh yes, exactly. Couldn't remember the date. Okay, here we go. There's the nose. Okay. Let's just check to see how they do the hair. Yeah, the shine for the hair will look really cool. I'm definitely going to do a nice shine on the beard. No, but I think it'll look cool if you do.
I do.
If you color it. Oops, there we go. All right. Trying to get to the eraser. There we go. Okay. And this part, I'm being a little bit more careful with, because these are going to be the final outlines. Yeah, that's looking all right. Not sure. It might be a little thick, honestly.
Can I color mine?
Yeah, you could color yours if you want. So there's another trick. Even if you keep the lines the same, like the monoline, what you can do is draw the outline a little bit thicker, and like to keep things looking nice and sharp.
When are we gonna do our Pokemon?
That's gonna be next week. All right, so here I'm going to use a slightly thinner version of the monoline for the inside of the line. There we go. And I'm going to do that for the nose too, actually, because I think that'll look a little bit better. Maybe I'll just do the teeth with that thin line. Yeah, that's looking a little bit better. And actually, you know what? I'm going to do the beard too, because that part was bugging me a little bit. It was looking a little bit too thick. There we go. All right. Cool. How are you guys doing online? Okay, now I'm going to go back to the bigger line for the hat. Oh, that was shaky. I'm trying to get it in as smooth of a flow, like a motion, as I can. Nice. Okay. And it's the same thing with the hat. I've drawn, because I wear a lot of hats, I've drawn this hat, like different hat angles so many different times. So now I've gotten it down pretty good. All right. Let's just touch up that. Oops, too much. There we go. Don't love the way that curves, so I'm just going to change that line. There we go, like that. All right. Oh, I almost forgot about the whole eyes. This time I'm going to go back to the thin lines. Let's double check this. Okay, so they don't really draw, sometimes they draw the eyelids, a little line. A lot of the times it's just, there we go. All right, we're gonna color this in like that. Okay, that pupil is looking a little bit off center, so it doesn't look like I'm looking at the camera anymore. I mean, that's what we want. So I'm just gonna move it. Let's try that.
So close to the eye.
I like to zoom in when I'm doing like a little detail, especially with the eyes. Remember, like we said, like they don't put a lot of detail in the mouth, but the eyes they try to get right because the eyes show a lot of expression. Oh yeah, you got a tie and everything? All right, let's try this.
Look at me.
Oh, looking good, looking good. All right.
I'm just throwing a Pokeball. No harm.
All right, here we go. Just gonna drop in the black. Let's see how that looks. Okay, we want it a little bit bigger. And don't forget to kind of like zoom out while you're drawing just to keep things in check, because sometimes when you zoom in, it's good for the details, but then you zoom out and it looks really off. So you just want to make sure it looks right. Let's see. That's looking pretty good, and I think the color will fix up the rest of it. Let's just finish off the neck, and then we will take a break. Now I'm going back to the thick outline. There we go. Boop. All right. And right now I'm just following my tracing, so I'm not doing anything too new. I'm just trying to make sure each line has a good flow to it. That's another thing that I would highly recommend for when you're drawing is you want to make sure each line feels like it's got a nice flow to it. Even if you don't change the line quality, you just want to make sure it looks good. I don't know how else to say it. It's kind of like sometimes things don't look good in real life, and even if you're drawing it accurately, it still doesn't look good. It just kind of feels, has a weird, just doesn't sit right. Pixar does a really good job of making everything look good. Like even if they're animating trash, it still looks like appealing in some way, which is a really weird thing to say about trash, but they just make everything look kind of nice. And that's kind of an old Disney tradition too. They with their villains, they call it it's like a character appeal, and you want to make sure that even your villains are appealing to look at, because they're going to be on screen for a while, and you are kind of telling the person who's watching it or looking at your artwork to look at your artwork. So you want everything that you draw to look appealing in some way. And that starts in big part with the line work. So you want to make sure everything that you draw kind of has a nice, cool flow to it. Now, sometimes it's a little bit easier than others, but it should be always something that you can strive for a little bit. Okay. I think that's good enough for the outline. Let's take a break because I'm starting to get a headache. Okay. And then what we're going to do next is we're going to add to the color. So, I know the color. Yeah.
Like coloring?
Yeah, we're going to color it in just a second. But first, we're going to take a karate break. Yippee! I know, I'm excited too. Okay. So if you guys haven't seen, you'll see it in a second. These are pictures of me when I was a little orange belt. I did karate from the age of 7 to 21-ish or 22, around the time that I moved out to California. Eventually got to be a black belt, a second-degree black belt, and taught a lot of karate classes to kids. We did sumo wrestling, we did sparring, we did this game where you hold a belt, like two people hold a belt, and you have to run, and then jump and dive and flip over the belt and land on the comfy mat. It was really fun. Sometimes the belt would get really high.
Good at doing a backflip.
Oh, it wasn't a backflip. It was just kind of like a dive and a tumble roll kind of thing. I don't think I've ever been able to do a backflip. But you can?
I can't.
Oh, you can? Okay, yeah, neither can I.
Somersault.
Oh, somersault. Yeah. So we like to play a game called Sensei Says. If you're new, Sensei Says is like Simon Says, except for I'm the sensei, so that's... I know sometimes there's new people online. You never know. Now, for Sensei Says, Sensei is what they call a teacher. So I'm the teacher, so that's why I was called the sensei. So we're going to play Sensei Says. If I don't say Sensei Says, don't do the move. If I do, then you have to do the move. All right. And we're going to do a few moves. We're going to do a straight punch like this. Make sure your thumb is tucked on the outside. Then we're going to do a rising block, which is like punching up.
Rising block like this?
Kind of like point your fist up at the sky like that. Now, the reason why your arm still should be bent, because you don't want it to be just like this, is that if somebody's like hitting you like that, with maybe it's like a bat or something or a stick or something, if you have your arm right here, it's going to hit right there and it's just going to stay there and it's going to hurt. So if you angle it a little bit like that, it'll slide right off. Super nice. That's the trick of the rising block. Then you have cross block, and I like to open my fist and then close it at the very last second for cross block. All right. Then we have middle block, which is like scooping ice cream.
Middle block?
Yeah, middle block. This is for if somebody's doing like if you're fighting with somebody up close and you want to block and get their punches away from them, away from you. Then we have down block, which is swooping down, kind of like a windshield wiper.
Like this?
Yep, just like that. Good.
Middle block.
Middle block is like scooping the ice cream. Yeah. And then we also have spear hands. So make your hand like this, tuck your thumbs in so they don't get pulled back, and bend your fingers a little bit so they don't get bent back. So then you're going to go straight forwards like that, and that's spear hand. Great. Yeah. Spear hand is only for certain areas. You don't want to like spear hand somebody like on their knee or on their head, because it'll be bone on bone and that'll hurt. Heel palm, we're coming up to Shuto next. Heel palm is like make the tiger claw, like the Kung Fu Panda or like tiger style. And you're hitting with this part of your hand right here. Boom. And you kind of go up a little bit. Last part is Shuto, like this. It's kind of like you're holding a platter like that in front of you. Yep. You're just karate chopping in the air. Shuto.
I like to think of it like throwing a ninja star.
Oh, like throwing a ninja star, yeah. Or like a frisbee, I guess, too, right? Yeah. That's a good way to describe it, yeah. Because I feel like a lot more of my students have probably thrown a frisbee than they have held a platter like a waiter. All right, here we go. Sensei says we're going to do 3 rounds. First round is going to be slow. Second round is going to be medium speed. And then third round is going to be fast. Okay, here we go. Sensei says rising block. Sensei says middle block. Sensei says cross block. Sensei says Shuto. Sensei says spear hand. Sensei says heel palm. Sensei says rising block. Sensei says down block. Middle block. All right, let's go a little bit faster now. Ready? Sensei says rising block. Sensei says cross block. Sensei says down block. Sensei says Shuto. Sensei says spear hand. Sensei says heel palm. Cross block. All right, you got one more round. If you're still in, great. I'm going to try to get you out this time, though. Here, we're gonna go super fast. Here we go. Ready? Sensei says rising block. Sensei says cross block. Middle block. Sensei says Shuto. Sensei says spear hand. Down block. Sensei says middle block. Sensei says down block. Sensei says cross block. Shuto. Spear hand. All right. Some of you, I think, are still in. How many of you guys are still in after all the rounds? You're still in? All right. Very nice job. Give yourself a round of applause. You like heel palm? That's my favorite one, too. All right. Now we're going to go on to our coloring and shadows. So if you're using colored pencils, great. If you're using markers, that's super classic anime style. And if you're using a digital tablet, make sure you do it all on a different layer. So you can see, you'll see my layers in just a second. Yeah. All right. So you'll see I have my layers right here. I have my outline layer, my sketch layer. Now, if we hide the sketch layer, it's looking pretty sharp. You're done coloring it? Okay, did you add shadows yet? Okay, we're gonna want to add some shadows because that's a big part, especially for the clothes.
What do you mean shadow?
Well, I'm gonna show you. But first, let's make sure we're on our right layer. So this is my color layer. I've labeled mine. You guys can too if you'd like. And what's a good trick if you're drawing on Procreate is to tap your outline layer and click reference, which is a really cool feature because then it lets you drag and drop the colors in. So I'm going to pick a skin color that matches mine. I'm going to go with James for this one. I drop that one. Yeah. And now look, even though I'm not on the outline layer, I can drop my color in because I'm using the outline layer as a reference, and that's what that means. So now I can drop it in and click continue filling. Voila. All right, now the one part about this is that I don't actually want to color in the whites of my eyes.
What? How about the ear? You're cheating! What about the ear?
Oh, I did color in the ears. You'll see in a second. Just a slight delay for those in person. Here we go. So now I'm going to just by hand color in the whites of my eyes. Like that. Okay. Now it does look like their eyes are a little bit bigger on the top than the bottom, so that's good for the whites parts. Here we go.
Wait, you want me to shading? We're gonna shading?
What?
On the clothes?
Oh, shading on the clothes. Yes, yes, yes. We are going to do shading on the clothes.
I love shading!
Okay, great.
You do a darker color on a lighter color, so it looks like the sun's shining.
A little bit like that, yeah. It's a little bit more complicated.
It looks so empty for some reason.
My character?
Yeah.
I know, because it is empty. All right, I'm going to drop in this beard color. Let's see how that looks. I think my beard might be a little bit more red than that, so I'm going to change it to a little bit more red. There we go. I actually took it from Brock's pants and then made it look a little bit more red. And I'm going to use Brock's hair for my eyebrows, I think. Let's see how that looks. Yeah, that works.
Wait, which character is your favorite?
Which character is my favorite?
Yeah.
I think growing up I liked Brock the most. Yeah. But I haven't watched the show in a while now. Now, even though I typically wear a black hat, with anime, you see that even for their black boots, they use this kind of slightly blue-gray color. And that's what we're going to use. So I'm going to drop that in. Yes, and that's why I left the nose open a little bit, because the nose should be, depending on which nose. All right, I'm going to pick, just to keep the color. Yeah, if the color fits, go for it. I'm going to pick Brock's vest for my color. I'm just going to go like this. There we go.
For some reason, I feel like Jesse and James are pretty bad at disguising.
Yeah, they're the bad guys.
Pretty bad at disguising.
I heard somewhere that Jesse and James, whenever they pose, like during their song, they're always posed in the letter R for Team Rocket.
Yeah,
You guys notice that?
Letter R for Team Rocket.
You guys knew that already, yeah.
Sometimes they, in this one episode, they're like, hey, are you listening? And they're like, and Ash and his friends were like, they're probably gonna cancel that theme song soon.
That's pretty funny. All right. And add the little zipper color.
Listening to that song anymore.
All right. Oops. There we go. All right.
Guys, share the pencil.
Okay, it's looking pretty good. Oh, the eyes. That's what we need to finish last. Okay. I want to just steal from Ash's eyes. So we got two different colors. We have one dark, which is like the nice shadow, and then we have this lighter one. We're going to start with just the light one, and then when we get to the shadow, that's when we're going to dive into the rest of the shadows for the entire character. There we go. So this is actually the lighter color.
Mine doesn't even look even close to a Pokemon trainer. Wait, it looks
All right.
like a
You just
different
took it
anime
from Ash's eye.
Yep, I snagged it straight from Ash's eye. Now I'm going to do the color. This is the real, this is what makes it look like a real anime like this. What's kind of cool is that their eyes kind of look like Pokeballs. Like they're one color on top and one color on the bottom, and they split in half.
Yeah, but at least they have some shade.
Yeah. All right. Now we're almost done here. We just got to add a little bit of shading. So I'm going to do this on a different layer just in case we want to tweak the shading because it might be too dark. So for the skin, for the nose, I'm just going to make this color. I'm going to drag it down to the right and to the bottom a little bit and fill that in like that.
Now can we draw a Pokemon?
Yes, you can draw your Pokemon if you want. But we are going to do that next week.
But can we get to it?
Yeah, if you want to. If you already finished your character, go for it. Now, typically for, oh, hi online, hi. Oh yeah, I'm going to explain that the rest of the stuff in a little bit. But okay, so for the skin color, I dropped my skin color and I dragged it down to the right and to the left. Now, if you want, you could even make it a little bit blue. And now this color doesn't seem like a super good shadow because it's almost like a totally different color. But it actually works pretty good when you use it in terms of a shadow. So I'm going to show you what I mean. Let's draw this. It's one of those things that doesn't feel right at first, but then it actually looks really cool. And the reason that you do this,
Always say Pika Pika.
the reason that we do this color is because it adds a little bit of life instead of using like a dark gray color.
It looks like blood instead, like blood splashes.
Blood splashes with the shadow.
Because like the anime I watch, it shows blood splashes of that's pink.
Oh, okay, gotcha. That's interesting. That's crazy. Blood splashes that are pink.
Or it looks like you dyed your hair pink.
Yes.
It sort of looks like you dyed your hair pink.
All right. Well, I'm going to show you what we're going to do in a second too. If you still feel like the pink color is a little bit too extreme. I think it kind of works if you look at it like as a whole. All right. I got to add a little bit of shadow to the hat too. So the same thing. I'm going to grab this color and make it a little bit darker.
Can I shade now?
Yes, yes. Now we're shading. Looks like blueberry.
Darker green on a green.
Oh, yes, definitely. And shadows are typically cooler because they're not in the sun. So a lot of the times artists will make the shadows a little bit bluer than the color. So not only just darker, but blue. And that's like an actual like science reasoning too. But it kind of tricks the mind because when you're drawing, you can just make it darker, but making it a little bit bluer adds that extra little sense of like realism illusion. All right, here we go. And kind of like with the eyebrows and the nose, with the shadows, you don't want to get too detailed and too crazy with it because then it just starts getting distracting. So we're just going to draw like a little shadow like this, kind of like...
Look like a Pokemon character.
Does yours? I can't wait to see it.
Like a Pokemon character.
Like a normal girl.
Let's see, do they have lines on their shirt? No, they keep it pretty simple.
And it kind of looks
All right.
like you dyed your neck pink.
I dyed my neck pink. Okay, so the reason we do it on different layers is because now I can go here, change the opacity if I want to, even them out a little bit. I can even change the color, so let's change this a little bit. There we go, like that. Now it's a little bit more normal, realistic looking color. Oh, I still got to finish the nose though. That one got messed up in the process.
I think I'm gonna make my Pokemon next week. Kind of related to Eevee.
Or I can also relate it to Nido King or Nido.
Nido King or Nido Queen?
You just learned that one yesterday.
All right.
I mean last night.
Now the last thing I'm gonna do is I found the Pokemon font.
Where's the green pencil?
Let me see.
Oh, this is a very cool pencil.
Oh, the mechanical pencil. And I think I downloaded it onto here. Let's see if I have it on here. P for Pokemon, I think. Maybe I didn't put it on here. I have the Star Wars one. All right. This one's kind of close. We're going to do that. So there's Noah. And just an easy way to change this up, I'm going to change the color on this different version to like a blue. And I'm going to turn this to outline like that. There we go.
What does it say? Noah?
Yeah. Voila. There's my Pokemon trainer, Noah. Yep. Now,
That's it.
and I mean, well, we still have the rest of the body too that I didn't finish. But if you guys want to finish the rest of your body, by all means, I would highly recommend it. Now, Ash has gone through a lot of different styles over the years too. We were looking at his hat before, but look at his different like clothes. They're all kind of the similar color scheme, but his yes, yeah, that was a little bit different. But what's really cool is that now that you've drawn yourself this way, you can just swap out your different outfits. So if you guys want to try different outfits, I've definitely done this before where I had myself in this jumpsuit. I drew myself in like my workout clothes. I had myself, yeah, like black t-shirt and shorts.
Wait, can I see it?
Oh, the workout clothes one? Oh, I don't have that one set up right here just yet, but I can definitely show you guys that one. Yeah, it's on my Instagram too, but I have it in me in my fall flannels and then a few other outfits too, just like the things that you wear. And so it's kind of cool. I have it like switch between different outfits, which is really just a fun way to kind of yeah, show off your different styles, I guess. All right. Now, on to wrapping up the class. We have 4 more minutes left, so let's see if we can do this. Messages from Earth. We just got a new submission for a star student from one of our students today. So I'm gonna draw that one up. Oh, we're not even on Messages from Earth. I just skipped one. That's the challenge of the week, is to draw your character in multiple outfits, like I was just talking about. And send it to me on Instagram or email. And thumbs up and subscribe if you guys haven't done that already. I mean, you guys are in person, so you're already subscribed. If you guys want, I also do one-on-one classes virtually, so you guys can sign up. I have a few students.
What are Messages from Earth?
Oh, we're going to get to that in a second. Now, one-on-one classes are great because we can work on your own project, and it's just you and me, so it's not like a whole class. Of course. Yeah. Then, if your parents have any questions, they can sign up for a Q&A. That's free, and I'll just answer any questions, and we'll chat on a Zoom call. All right. What else? What else? Messages from Earth. So this is what you guys were asking about. Messages from Earth. Send me your star student design, and I'll redesign it in my star student style. So if you guys want to do that, send me your star student ideas. And all right. So for our sign off, thank you to CTN Foundation for paying for all the tickets and funding all of you guys to come here for free, which is awesome.
Take a picture of mine.
I will take a picture of yours. Now, next week is going to be the last YouTube live episode that I do. We're switching to completely in-person only because as much as I love doing both, I feel like I'm doing both at 50%. I'd like to do it more at 100, one of them. And I think the in-person seems to be where you guys find a lot of the fun. So after next week, it's going to be our last Pokemon episode. We're going to do it, live stream it, and then no more live streams for a little while. We might bring it back on a different day or something like that, and I'll keep you guys posted. But from after next week, it'll just be in-person stuff. So you'd have to come in person. But sign up for a one-on-one class if you want to join and you're not local. And next week, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be drawing your very first Pokemon, the one that you would pick when you're a Pokemon trainer. You pick one of 3 types of Pokemon. Originally, it was Bulbasaur and Charmander and Squirtle. Then they had, I guess Pikachu kind of snuck his way into there.
Wait, so next week we're going to make our own Pokemon character.
Yes. So we're going to look at how they design these characters, what they use for inspiration, and we're going to try to create, and I'm going to try to do one of each. So we're going to try to do a fire, a water, and a plant. Is that the type called?
Grass.
It's grass type? Okay. I get confused with Avatar, and I was almost at Earth type.
Can we bring
Your folders with all of your binders?
No, can I
Definitely.
bring our book of Pokemon?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, definitely look at it for reference because I'll only have so many pictures up here. All right. Without further ado, thank you guys for an awesome class. Thank you guys for joining. This has been super fun. And I can't wait to see all of your artwork. I'll see you guys next week. Bye.